It is sticking again. The back door, the one that swells shut every August and screams every January. You shoulder it open and tell yourself you will deal with it. The kitchen tap drips after midnight. The caulk around the tub is cracked and going black. The good knife will not cut a tomato anymore, so you bought a new one. The shed lock takes 2 hands and a word you would not say in front of your mother. You are surrounded by small broken things, and almost none of them are broken. A contractor will not climb out of his truck for less than $90. The bath, the door, the lock, the rot you have been ignoring. Bundle it up, and you are staring at a $500 afternoon. Easy. You have paid bills like that before. Or you have lived with the problem because the bills scared you off. Not because the fix was hard, because nobody ever showed you it. There was another way. There still is. Your father knew it. His father knew it before him. In 1962, a man fixed his own house on a Saturday with what was already on the garage shelf. No truck, no quote, no permit, just his hands and 10 quiet minutes. I am going to hand you 25 of those fixes, what each one is, why it works, and exactly what it saves you. We count down to the one that mattered most of all. Start at 25. But first, you should know where this knowledge went and why it left. There was a time when a man did not call anyone. It started in the mountains, the Appalachian hollers 100 years back. The road out was a day's walk. The store ran on credit you could not pay. A family fixed its own everything there, not as a hobby, as survival. Use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. The children watched, and the watching was the teaching. That knowing came down out of the mountains and spread across the whole country. By the time your father was a young man in the 1960s, it was simply what a man knew. He kept an edge on every tool. He greased his own hinges. He patched, he sealed, he sharpened. The garage had a workbench. The workbench had a vise. And a boy stood at his father's elbow and learned it for himself. Then the message changed. The catalog came thicker every year. The television sold a new thing every night. And under all of it ran one quiet sentence. You do not need to know this anymore. Let someone else handle it. It is too complicated for you now. The skills were not killed. They were shamed. A man who fixed his own pipe looked poor standing next to the man who called somebody. So the fathers stopped teaching. The sons stopped watching. And one generation set down what 100 generations had carried. The knowing was not lost in a day. It was buried slowly, one shrug at a time, until it was forgotten. Not banned, not burned, just quietly suppressed, until a man felt foolish for knowing it. It was never poverty. It was wealth nobody could take, until they talked you into setting it down yourself. Here are 25 pieces of it carried back to your bench. Number 25, a bar of soap on anything that sticks. That back door, the dresser drawer that fights you every morning. The window swelled shut by August damp. Your father did not plane the wood down. He ran a dry bar of soap along every spot where wood rubbed wood. The wax is a dry lubricant. It will not gum. It will not stain. It will not draw dust the way oil does. A carpenter charges to shave a door. The soap costs $1 and holds for a year. Rub it where it sticks. Slide it shut. Number 24. Pencil graphite in a stiff lock. The shed padlock that needs 2 hands. The deadbolt that fights you every cold morning. Never oil a lock. Oil grabs grit and turns a stiff lock into a dead one. Shave a soft pencil over the key instead. Work it in and out a few times. The gray dust runs the lock smooth for years. That dust is graphite. the dry, slick the lock was built for. A locksmith starts at $100. The pencil is already in the drawer. Number 23. Lard on hinges and bare steel, the screen door that shrieks, the hand tools going orange with rust on the pegboard. A thin smear of lard or tallow silences a hinge with none of oil's runny mess. Wiped on bare metal, it seals the steel against the air, and rust stops cold. Your father greased his tools by hand every fall, and they outlived him. A can of rust spray is $12. The grease was free in the pan. Number 22. Steel wool in a mouse hole. You hear them in the wall the first cold night of the year. A mouse chews through foam, through wood, through soft mortar. It cannot chew steel wool. It tries, it hurts, it leaves. Pack every gap behind the stove and under the sink with a tight wad of it. A pad costs $1. A yearly pest contract runs $400. Find the hole, pack it hard. They are gone. Number 21. Cedar and sassafras against moths. The wool blanket comes out of the closet full of holes. The good winter coat is eaten through. The chemical block in the closet is poison you breathe all winter. Your grandmother used cedar and sassafras instead. A handful of cedar shavings, a few splits of sassafras root tucked in the chest and the corners. The oil in the wood turns the moth away, and the cloth smells of the woods. A bag of shavings is $1. Your good wool lasts decades. Number 20. Diatomaceous earth along the baseboards. Fleas off the dog. Bugs in the flour. Silverfish in the dark corners. Food-grade diatomaceous earth is a fine white powder of crushed fossil shell. Harmless to you and the dog. To an insect it is broken glass. It scores the shell, and the bug dries out and dies. A $4 bag lasts 2 years and finishes what the monthly spray never could. Dust it thin wherever they walk. Number 19. Borax and sugar for ants. A trail across the counter every July. You wipe them away. They are back by noon. The spray kills the 10 you see. It never touches the 10,000 you cannot. Stir a little borax into sugar water on a scrap of cardboard. Set it right on the trail. The workers drink it, carry it home, and the colony goes with it. A box of borax is $3 and lasts years. Let them carry it home. Number 18. A black walnut on a scratch in dark wood. The dresser caught a gouge. The table leg is scuffed pale. You do not need a stain kit. Crack a black walnut, take the meat, and rub it the long way into the scratch. The oil and the dark of the nut sink in, and the scratch closes over. Your father kept the good furniture dark with what fell off the tree out back. A furniture pen is $15. The walnut is free in October. Number 17. Boiling milk to mend a cracked crock. The good ceramic bowl has a hairline crack running through it. You are ready to throw it out. Do not. Set it in a pot, cover it with milk, and bring it to a slow simmer for an hour. The casein in the milk seeps into the crack and sets hard as it cools. The line seals, and the bowl holds water again. A new crock cost a day's wage once. The milk was already in the icebox. Number 16. Vinegar to dissolve hard water scale. The showerhead sprays weak and crooked. The kettle is furred white inside. You do not need a new one. The holes are choked with hard water lime, nothing more. Tie a bag of plain white vinegar over the showerhead overnight. Boil vinegar in the kettle, then pour it out. The lime dissolves, and the flow comes back like new. A new showerhead is $60 and a plumber's visit. The vinegar is $1 and a rubber band. Number 15. A potato to back out a broken bulb. The glass snapped off in the socket and left the jagged metal base behind. The fixture sits dead because you are afraid to touch it. Cut the power at the switch and at the breaker, both. Then press half a raw potato firmly onto the metal base, turn, and it walks the broken stub right out. An electrician call starts at $100. The potato is in the bin. Power off first, always first. Number 14. A kerosene soak to free a rusted bolt. The bolt is seized solid. You strain on it until the wrench slips and barks your knuckles. Do not force it. Wet it down with kerosene or penetrating oil and walk away. Give it the night. The thin oil creeps down into the threads and breaks the rust's grip from the inside. By morning, the bolt turns by hand. A snapped bolt ruins a whole day, and sometimes the part with it. The soak costs pennies and a little patience. Number 13. Heat to break a seized nut. The soak alone could not free it. Heat will. Metal grows when it warms. A nut rusted onto a bolt breaks its own grip if you heat it fast. A small propane torch does it, or a lighter on a little one. Keep the flame well away from fuel and anything that burns. Your father warmed the worst ones, and they turned. A flame and a minute beat a hacksaw, and an hour. Heat it, turn it. Done. Number 12. Beeswax on screw threads before hardwood. You drive a screw into oak and it snaps, or it strips, or it splits the board clean in two. Drag the threads across a cake of beeswax or a bar of soap first. The wax lets the screw cut in with half the force. The wood lets it pass instead of fighting it. Every father who built anything waxed a screw without thinking. A box of snapped screws and a cracked board cost you the whole job. The wax is already on the bench. Number 11. The right pilot hole every time. The board splits at the end. The screw wanders off the line. The trim cracks the second the head pulls flush. Drill a small hole first, sized to the screw's solid core, not its threads. It gives the screw somewhere to go, so it pulls the wood tight instead of wedging it apart. 2 minutes of drilling saves a split board and a wasted length of trim. Your father sized the bit against the screw by eye and was never wrong. Hole first. Always. Number 10. Re-gluing a wobbly chair the right way. The kitchen chair rocks, so you ignore it until a rung drops out on the floor. Do not screw it. Do not nail it. Knock the loose joints fully apart. Scrape every face down to clean bare wood. Brush on fresh glue and clamp it overnight. It comes back tighter than the day it was made. A new set of chairs costs hundreds of dollars. A bottle of glue is $4. Clean wood holds. Dirty wood lets go. Number 9. A new hickory handle on an old head. The axe handle cracked, so off you went for a whole new axe. Stop. The head is the tool, and it will outlive 3 handles. A replacement hickory handle costs a few dollars, seats into the head, and a wedge locks it tight. The forged head your father swung bites truer than the cast thing on the store shelf. Replace the wood. Keep the steel. A good head is worth more than a new axe will ever be. Number 8. Lard to rescue a rusted cast iron skillet. The old pan came out of the garage, orange and pitted. You were ready to toss it. That pan will outlast you. Scrub the loose rust off, coat it thin with lard, and bake it low until it blackens and smokes. Do it twice. The lard burns into the iron and lays down a slick black surface. No coated pan on the market can touch it. Seasoned once, it holds permanently. A new non-stick pan is $40 and flakes in a year. The iron is forever. Number 7. Boiled linseed oil to bring dead wood back. The porch went gray and splintery. The tool handles dried and cracked. The table looks thirsty. A wipe of boiled linseed oil soaks straight in. It swells the dry fibers. The color and the life come right back. A can is $10 and does the whole house over a season. One caution worth keeping: the oily rags can catch fire on their own. Lay them flat outside to dry, then throw them away. Number 6. A tin reflector behind the stove. The room never warms, and the fuel bill never drops. Half the heat off a stove or radiator on an outside wall pours straight into the cold wall behind it. Your father tacked a sheet of bright tin behind it to throw that heat back into the room. You can do the same with foil on cardboard, shiny side out, slip down behind the radiator. A few dollars of tin saves real money across a long winter. Reflect it back inside. Number 5. Fresh caulk before the water gets in. The bead around the tub cracked and pulled away from the wall. You have meant to deal with it for months. Behind that thin gray line is the one thing keeping water out of the wall and the floor. Let it go, and the subfloor rots. The joists soften. The repair climbs past $1,000, and now you are paying that contractor after all. Scrape the old bead out. Run a fresh one in. Smooth it with a wet finger. The tube is $5. The rotted floor is everything. Seal it now. Number 4. Whitewash to preserve wood and stone. The fence is rotting. The cellar smells sour. The shed siding is going soft and gray. Whitewash is slaked lime and water, the cheapest protection ever made. Brush it on wood and stone. It seals out the wet. It kills the mildew and the mold. It turns back the rot for years. The lime did more than brighten. It sweetened a sour cellar and kept what was stored down there from turning. A bag of lime is a few dollars and coats a whole building. Modern sealers cost $40 and do less. Brush it on. Let it cure. Number 3. Wood ash, the all-purpose cleaner. You buy a different bottle for every job. The scouring powder, the oven cleaner, the grease cutter, the drain opener. Your grandmother bought none of it. Cold ash from the stove scours a scorched pan and shines tarnished metal. Soaked in water, it gives up lye that cuts the worst baked grease and clears a slow, greasy drain. It made the soap and cleaned the house both. The ash is free, left in the firebox every morning. A shelf of bottles costs you $40 a year. The fire already made your cleaner. Number 2. Pine pitch to seal a leak. The boot lets water in. The bucket seeps at the seam. The roof drips in one corner every storm. A pine gives it up for free. Pitch off the trunk, warmed until soft over a coal, pressed into the gap, cooled hard as glass. It sealed boots, buckets, and roof seams for 1,000 years before the hardware store sold you a tube. It bonds where caulk will not hold. It shrugs off the wet and the cold. A sealant kit is $20. The tree across the yard owes you nothing. And number 1, the whetstone and a keen edge. This is the sound this whole list began with. The good knife that will not cut, so you bought a new one. The knife was never worn out. The axe that glances off the log is not finished. The scissors that chew instead of cut are not junk. They are dull. That is all. A dull tool is the only kind of broken a stone can cure. A few passes on a whetstone held at a steady angle. A few more on the other side. The edge comes back sharper than the day it was bought. The whetstone costs $10 and lasts 100 years. One stone outlives every knife you will ever own. This is the crown of the whole list because it holds the whole lesson in one stone. Your father did not replace a tool. He renewed its edge. A man was known by how sharp he kept his steel. A dull blade was not a broken tool. It was a careless owner. He knew it. His father knew it. The tool was never spent. It was only dull, and dull is 10 minutes on a stone. It is the king of this list, and it still wears the crown. Now let me tell you what happened to all of it, plainly, the way I always do. There is no villain in a boardroom. Nobody drew up a plan to make you helpless. It is simpler than that, and worse. Follow the money downhill, the way money always runs. A man who keeps an edge buys one whetstone in a lifetime. A man who does not buys a new knife every year, forever. One of those is a customer the trade can do without. The other is a customer for life. A skillet that lasts 3 generations sells 1 pan. A coated pan that flakes in a year sells 40. So the lasting thing was quietly replaced by the thing that wears out. The serviceable became the disposable. The repairable washer became a sealed cartridge, not out of malice, out of the plain downhill pull of profit. And the same pull buried the knowing along with the tools. A man who can fix it does not call. A man who cannot calls forever. Nobody had to suppress the old skills on purpose. The market did it quietly because a capable man is a poor customer. And the contractor is that same pull wearing a tool belt. He charges $90 to walk through the door and $500 for an afternoon. The materials in his truck cost $12. You are not paying for the parts. You are not even paying for the skill. You are paying for the day they convinced you that fixing your own house was beyond you. It was not beyond your father. It is not beyond you. You just watched yourself learn 25 ways it never was. Here is why these old fixes actually work. In plain English, they all rest on one principle your father understood in his hands without ever naming it. Almost nothing truly breaks. A small, soft, cheap part wears or dulls. You renew that one part, and the whole thing is new again. Look at the seals, a bead of caulk, a smear of pitch, a coat of whitewash. Every one is a soft thing laid over a hard thing to stop water and air from passing. Soft things wear, so you renew the soft part for pennies, and the seal holds again. Look at the edges, a knife, an axe, a saw. None of them break. They dull. Steel gives its edge to the work, and a stone gives it back. You are not buying a tool. You are renewing the part that was always going to wear. The lubricants are the same idea in another coat. Oil grabs grit and turns to grime. Soap, graphite, and wax stay dry, so they slip for years without holding the dust. Your father never said the words. He did not need them. He knew the part that failed was small. He knew the fix was cheap. And he knew the world would rather you never learned which part it was. Not a broken tool, a worn part, not a new purchase, a small renewal. Get that one idea into your hands, and the fix holds permanently, the way it held for him. This is not knowledge you have to be clever to keep. It is knowledge they only had to make you forget. So, here is what I want you to do. The next time something sticks, drips, dulls, or sags, do not reach for the phone. Do not reach for the number on the fridge. Reach for the drawer. Reach for the stone. Most of what goes wrong is a small worn thing and 10 quiet minutes. These 25 are not clever. They are not new. They are the ordinary knowing of ordinary men. Men who fixed their own houses because that is simply what a father did. They made it do. They wore it out. They mended what the rest of us throw away. You were never taught it. That was not your fault. The catalog came and the knowing went, and a quiet voice told you it was beneath you. The voice lied. The skill was never lost. It was only buried, and what is buried can be dug back up. It was never beyond you. It was only forgotten. And now, it is not. This is not about saving $500 on a contractor. It is about refusing to be a stranger in your own home. If this is the kind of knowing you want kept alive, subscribe. There is a great deal more where this came from. The stone is still here. The drawer is still there. Go sharpen something before you replace it.